Hi humans, and welcome to the Dork Squaretable. My name is Kenneth R.
And I am B Button of Jump Button fame.
Jump Button!
If you want to call it fame.
Button!
I'd like to mention, of course, it's more of a rectangle, the table.
Technically, yes.
But that's a really long name for a show. So I'm not going to go with that.
And who really has an attention span anymore, so fuck that shit. This is all you're getting, is the Dork Squaretable, alright?
I wasn't paying attention. What happened?
A bunch of stuff happened. I think there's a cat over there. Now, what to expect from us? Well, we expect to be joined by many other people in a sort of a roundtable panel discussion of any given pop culture topic. This is what I guess you would refer to as the pilot episode.
Pilot.
Yeah.
Take off.
Take off.
That just happened.
Take off from PHL.
Take off from PHL 17.
That's right.
That was a network.
Philly's Choice, channel 38.
WGT. Okay, let's not do that.
Hey!
Okay, so let's go on.
Now today's topic is the Nintendo Entertainment System. Otherwise known as, if you're too lazy to say all those words, the NES. Now,
NES.
The NES. All I can,
I've never heard of that.
Me neither. So why don't we talk about it?
I didn't hear about it until I went into Hot Topic. I saw all these neat shirts they had.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, but the controllers with the red buttons.
It was controllers with red buttons, and there was
cool,
like
right?
something like this that had pure gold. I didn't get what this was. You know.
I just thought it looked cool. I liked all the pixelated images of plumber.
There was steering wheel covers with plumbers and some little Viking boy with a sword. It was
crazy. What about
crazy.
the mushrooms?
What about the mushrooms? I don't get what it's about.
The green and the red mushrooms? What is that a reference to? Is anybody know?
Yeah, is that like a
1-up? What the fuck is a 1-up?
What is a 1-up?
What the fuck is that?
It's an extra guy.
Extra guy?
It's not a 1-up. It's an extra guy. You always got extra... I'm sorry. I stole that right from James Rolfe, so he can sue me for that, but I did.
Who the hell are you? The R8 gamer?
Yes, I am.
Frustrating.
This is frustrating.
Now, the NES... My first vivid memory of the NES was from when I was about 4 or 5 years old. I remember seeing a commercial for it. It was the commercial where those kids in that stupid futuristic outfits walking through that futuristic looking, at least by the standards of the 80s futuristic sort of place where all these NESs come out of nowhere, and then there's a monitor. Do you know what I'm talking about? All those kids walking around, the stupid teenagers walking around.
I don't know if I read that commercial.
I forget what the voiceover guy says. But that was where I first heard
the Apple Computers commercial?
Vaguely.
Someone throw a hammer through something?
Not that I know of, but the people who ended up buying those series, systems and consoles, just like us, would want to hit the games and the controllers with a hammer after fucking up on the towers. Oh, see what I did there? Destruction. Speaking of hammers, no. Anyway, yeah, that was my first vivid memory. Really, the earliest vivid memory I have of NES. I'd never heard of it. Didn't know what the fuck Nintendo was. Had no idea they'd been making playing cards since the 19th century. Had no fucking idea.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I remember I misheard that to my 5-year-old ears. It sounded like Nintendo. I seriously thought it was called the Nintendo Entertainment System.
It's awesome.
But I didn't really care what it was. I didn't really because I'd never really fucked around with video games before, so I didn't really care one way or the other. I didn't look at it thinking, oh yeah, I gotta have this. I just was not really that interested. But then our cousin Ed, hey Ed, and Tim, hey Tim,
what's up guys?
Yeah, those guys.
Hopefully you see this.
Yeah, when they lived near us.
Where we are now.
Yeah. They
in Ben Salem.
Yeah, PA pictures. Hey, LBC. I remember they had it. You remember that?
That's part of the memory I was going to mention.
And they were playing SMB. I still didn't really quite care about it.
Right.
I was kind of somewhat interested, but I was more interested in their pool, using them for their pool. We used y'all.
I admit that too. I was a huge fan of that pool.
They also had like the Intellivision, didn't they have the Intellivision or the Atari at one point before? I mean, because there was, because Ed was a few years older than us.
There was definitely something else
yeah.
floating around video game wise. For the life of me, I couldn't tell you exactly what that was, but there was another system floating around, never quite worked right. So it could have been an Atari, as far as I know.
I remember them playing like Gyromite and Super Mario Brothers. Donkey Kong 3, Donkey Kong Jr. I don't remember Donkey Kong, but I definitely remember them having Donkey Kong 3.
I remember 3.
I remember playing that at their house.
Yes.
And our dad, I remember our dad was really... oh, hi, Dad.
Hi.
I remember our dad was...
brothers.
And Mom, too. Yeah, we're brothers. Just so, it's not a coincidence or anything. It's not like we coincidentally, discovered that we had the same dad.
Same dad or cousins, just by accident.
Yeah, it's just we probably should have established that from the beginning. But you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
You don't know us. You don't know us.
You don't know us. I mean, the first episode of Lost didn't tell you what happened at the end, did it?
Yeah, assholes. Fuck you.
You gotta get to that point. You gotta keep watching and being enthralled by it. You are angry.
You pricks.
My God, you're just gonna.
They're dicks. Look at them. Look at these dicks.
Well, the guys on the screen are. Yeah.
You're a fucking asshole.
Look at that one. That one's fat, and he needs a hair transplant.
Yeah. Then there's a guy in a Zelda shirt too.
Yeah. You caught me off guard with that one.
Here's the steering wheel. Ready?
Yes.
And we're back on the NES discussion.
We're back on. I was gonna say it was a good segue, but you were driving a car. I know we are comic gold.
Oh my God, we're just out of control. You guys lock up your daughters because they'll probably
they'll probably mace us.
Because they'll probably mace us, yeah.
If they have mace.
If they have mace. Otherwise, they'll poke our eyes out with a frickin' umbrella.
Yeah. Umbrella stick.
Umbrella stick, bumper shoot, umbrella.
Anywho, here's that wheel again.
Here's that wheel again. All right.
I spilled coffee on myself when you were trying to do that. No, I didn't.
I did not mean to do that to you. I'm so sorry.
Now I gotta sue McDonald's.
Sue McDonald's for $80 million.
Yeah, this is
$1 billion. All right. So where was I? Where were we?
So we were talking about
the
NES.
Oh, the NES, the topic of the show.
Of our cousins, your dad.
Our dad!
Who was my dad as well. I already forgot.
Hey, dicks, we're brothers. Oh, that's what got us in trouble before.
Yeah, that started the first time, yeah.
Hey, dicks! Hey, dicks!
You were saying something about our father being really into it, which I don't even remember.
I remember a discussion between my mom and, our mom and our dad. Whoa, see what I did there? Oh, shit.
Same thing.
Oh, boy.
Same damn thing.
Same family.
Yep.
Same household.
Yes,
So, yeah, I remember our dad talking about the NES and how impressed he was with Super Mario Brothers because that was at the time a revolutionary game, revolutionary platforming. No one had ever seen anything like that before, as you have probably seen on all those history of NES videos that are floating around YouTube.
There's a couple of those.
Yeah, there's probably a few of those.
At least 3.
And I just remember thinking about that conversation that my dad had, and I remember hearing it and then thinking about it later.
Right.
And I remember, it still didn't register with me. I guess I was too young to appreciate it, but it didn't register with me just what we were dealing with here and how important it was, and how important it would be. It was just, I didn't really freak out about it too much, but the only time I really, really cared about it was when I realized we were going to get one. And I was excited about it. I remember... Well, this guy here remembers the circumstances under which we got it.
Yeah. I'll tell you my story.
Yeah. Well, go for it.
You want to hear? Okay.
This is where your fun experience comes in.
This is my segue into the thing. Like you mentioned before, we didn't really have that much of a gaming. What's the word here? Foundation in our household. We did. I swear we had an Atari beforehand. 2600. I'm not sure what system it was. There was something we had before we had the Nintendo.
Really?
Yeah, there was something. There really was something else.
Because I only remember getting the 7800 after the Nintendo. After I'd gotten really into NES and Sega,
right.
I really was curious about Atari.
There was something in the house. I forget for the life of me again what it is, but we did have something going on there.
See what we do here? We remember.
Yeah, we remember weird things. I remember playing that karate game. I think it was just called Karate, and playing the ice cream cone game. Food fight. Thank you. We had to get to the ice cream cone before a month. I remember playing that, and Dad loved that.
Yeah.
You know, he really was a big fan of that.
And that karate game, I think, was on the Famicom as Karateka or whatever.
It might have been.
It was a tough game. Very difficult game.
Gave me a hard time. But anywho, back to the Nintendo. Again, he mentions the whole cousins in Bensalem having the Nintendo. I remember going over to... Our aunt actually owned a flower shop in the area. And we were the bratty nephews who would always go in the back room with our cousins and we'd just play Nintendo. You know, while she was trying to run a business, we were not. We were trying to destroy the business because we were only 5 at the time. So they put Nintendo in the back just to keep us occupied. And then there's a cat. There's definitely a cat.
Yeah, there's a cat over there. I wasn't staring at my own brother's crotch. There was a cat over there.
There's a cat who was about to be on the table.
Hey, cat.
And there he is. That is,
This is Kit.
That butthole we're looking at right now is Kit. There it is.
He's proud of that butthole. He is giving you all the ultimate cat compliment right now.
Take a good look at that, folks. He's probably going to be a frequent guest on the show, along with his brother Batman, who you will definitely see. He's trying to drink my coffee right now, as a matter of fact. I'm going to keep talking over his back like I'm growing out of it. It's pretty awesome. What was I saying before?
The flower shop.
Before the cat butthole, the flower shop. I'm sorry, kid. I apologize. I'm going to do this to you.
It was the closest thing we'd ever gotten to being, spoiled, overprivileged brats. I mean, that was
really
as close as we got to that.
He is not any of that. He is not a fan of that right now.
Speaking of overprivileged brats.
Yeah, right? He sheds a lot.
Yeah, he's a fuck sometimes.
I was ready for this, by the way. I'm preparing for this to happen.
We knew it was going to go
But we didn't care. We thought it would add a little, variety. I wasn't, pointing with butt right there either. I was just doing the thing. Anywho,
now I'm pointing at his butt.
Now he's pointing at his butt. There's a cat. So anywho, yeah, flower shop. I remember having Nintendo there. We played there all the time. And the earliest sounds I have of Nintendo in my head are the balloon fight music for some reason. I don't know why that's so etched in my brain, but the balloon fight background music is in my head. And the Mario Brothers sound, from that Mario Brothers game everyone was talking about, the Super one.
Oh.
Not the original one. We played that a lot too, though.
The one of the Super variety.
The Super Mario game. Yeah, so I remember one day, I had no idea Dad liked it that much. I had no idea he cared for it.
Yeah, he was really impressed with it.
I really wish I knew that. I had no idea.
He was very much impressed with it.
Our dad's cool.
He wanted it just as much as any kid of the era wanted it.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was pretty sick. He was just I remember very specifically, very vividly, him telling Mom about this, Jesus Christ, you should see this thing.
That's fantastic. I really didn't know that. I might have to come in here and actually say that to the camera, to our mom. Jesus Christ, you gotta see this thing.
Yeah.
So anywho, I just remember one day, no idea, it was a total surprise to me. I was violently ill. I'm not gonna make this, there he is again. I'm going to not make this very graphic for you. Will you stop doing that? At least sit. If you're going to be on the table, at least sit. So I remember being really sick, lying in bed, just out of it, in and out of sleep. I remember I had a bowl of soup I was trying to eat, and I actually threw up in that bowl of soup. That wasn't necessary, but it happened, just to give you a point.
Think about that as you eat your cheddar steak and potato chunky soup.
That wasn't even out yet. It was something simple.
Think about it.
Yeah, think about it. I think it was Mrs. Grass. I forget what it was. But with a little flavor grape they gave you. That's Mrs.
Well, keep that image in your head as you try to eat your flavor grape, America.
Think of
and
that.
The world.
My rambling leads to this. I remember being in and out of sleep and then waking up all of a sudden, hearing the Mario music. That's the tie-in to the music I mentioned earlier.
You're I'm tripping.
I thought I was delirious. I thought I was dreaming. And I thought, maybe our cousins are here, and they brought the Nintendo. Maybe. So I had enough energy. I don't know if they did it on purpose to play that loud enough so I could hear it, or if it just happened because the room was so quiet.
Yeah.
I was up, and I was downstairs within 5 minutes playing Mario on our brand new Nintendo Entertainment System, and that was one of the happiest days of my life. Not even knowing I wanted this thing so bad, but I had it, and it was just from there on in. It was a big adventure that we were going to be on, this little path, this little journey.
We had no idea how serious this would become. We had no fucking idea.
It's just one of those things you don't know at the time how just how big an impact something like this is going to make on people's lives or an industry in general. But yeah, NES. That's the foundations, the groundwork. Obviously, I mean, you could go ahead back and argue about Pong consoles or the early satellite radio games or Atari. I guess Atari was also kind of the groundwork, but I guess Nintendo was responsible, we would say, for kind of the what is the one I'm looking for here? Like the rising of the ashes, the phoenix rising out of the ashes of the video game craze, because that's the video game crash.
That's right.
Nintendo with their system actually kind of brought it back out. But then gaming became the thing.
That's right, because as you've probably heard from all those various countless talking heads and ironic T-shirts and thick glasses on those videos that are all over YouTube about video game history or about the video game crash, it's like, oh yes, I heard somewhere that E.T. was a shitty game, therefore I know everything about the crash.
We had that too.
Been there, done that, so we're not going to do too much of jibber-jabber about that.
Yeah. Even though we had E.T. and it is horrible.
I actually really had fun with E.T.
I had fun back then.
It was fun, but I didn't,
but I realize now what.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't play it today because I don't think I would enjoy it very much compared to what's out there now, and compared to this. I mean, I'm too busy with my NES collection and my Sega Master System collection. We'll get to the Sega Master System on another episode someday.
That's a whole other show.
That is a whole nother show.
Yes, I almost said that too, and I tried not to.
Well, that's okay, because nother was apparently what the word used to be.
Oh, well, check that out. We'll get into that later on too.
Yeah, we'll do a whole show on the history of the English language. Oh, it'll be so much fun.
Just the word
We'll talk about Grimm's Law. We'll talk about the Great Vowel Shift. We'll talk about the voiced velar fricative and how that disappeared from the English language. It'll be
Vercrendum's effect.
Vercrendum's effect.
That's a theater tool.
Vercrendum's effect. We'll talk about proscenium arches and shit.
Periactoids.
We'll talk about fucking Stanislavski if we have to.
Flying buttresses.
Uda Hagen.
Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, definitely. And Diablo's Ex Machina.
And Diablo Cody.
Diablo Cody. And The Sweet Life was Zack and Cody.
Yeah, and
everything you wanted to know about the NES, but were too afraid to ask.
Yeah, about Zack and Cody.
About Zack and Cody. Zack and Cody. Well, I'm working on a dissertation from my imaginary graduate studies program that I'm really not in. Zack and Cody and its impact on the NES. You get into that by writing papers about Zack and Cody.
I actually will. You think I'm kidding? I have my laptop right here. I'll actually pound out 5 pages right now on Zack and Cody.
Pound them out.
I will.
So yeah.
So yeah, that's that for us. That's our earliest memories. Just playing like Mario Bros. After that, and then getting like Gumshoe.
I don't
know why I want to mention Gumshoe.
That was fun as hell. I mean, that was a great game. That was a great...
I knew you were going to go there with that.
That's another story,
what a great game.
That's a little inside reference that you probably, if you're in a video game, if you're really into gaming, videos about gaming, you've probably seen it, but I'm not going to denigrate somebody else on my own video. Yeah, but that was a great, great game. It was a great challenging game.
It actually was. It was that game... Seriously, the farther that game got, weird. The things you're supposed to get in that game and do freaked me out.
Yeah.
Actually, it's like, oh my god, it's new! What happened?
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid,
What's that potion? There's a pink potion.
Yeah, it's like if you do something...
My suit's pink. It's like, it's the right thing you're supposed to do. There's a diamond! You're supposed to collect the diamonds. It freaked me out. I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But I was supposed to. I wanted to shoot the guy and make him jump and hit his head on bottles.
Speaking of shit that freaked you out,
So weird.
I remember the Christmas that we got The Legend of Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Christmas of '87, I believe.
Is that what we got that for Christmas?
We got that for Christmas, and that same Christmas, I believe we also got Super Pitfall.
Yes, we did. Super Pitfall. Good lord.
And in Super Pitfall, I remember there are 2 or 3 places where you can find these, but I remember when I first came across those fucking Easter Island looking
I knew
faces,
you were going to mention those giant heads.
The stone heads. I was afraid. I played the game very cautiously after that because I didn't. I was expecting to be surprised by another one of those, freaky heads.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like freaked out. I was like, oh god, if I venture too far here, am I going to come across one of these fucking heads?
Right.
Just the creepiest fucking thing I ever saw.
I remember not knowing what to do in that game and just playing it just because I got looked like Mario.
Yeah.
Pitfall Harry looked just like Mario.
They really dropped the ball in that game. What a
yeah. Again, I can go into an hour about that alone.
It's fucking ridiculous.
I don't know what I could say that James Rolfe already hasn't said.
Yeah,
I'm
think
going to mention him a lot, by the way.
I think anything that's been said about any given shitty video game has probably already been said by him. So,
but again, it's kind of like music. You can never make any original riffs ever again.
Yeah,
because they all were done.
Pretty much.
So, but you still buy it, so please.
Yeah. And,
take it away, boys.
Bake them away, it's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
And something else that freaked me out.
Mm-hmm.
In Castlevania, I remember being really freaked out by the Medusa.
Enough said.
The first time I saw Medusa head, I mean, the fucking statue from which she emerges, it's freaky enough.
It is.
I'm like, what the hell? It looked like some stupid little kid in a dress. And I was like, what's this kid's problem?
I can say that again, yeah.
I was like, what's this kid's problem? And then that was just freaky.
I have another random NES memory. I'm going to just jump around again.
Okay.
I remember a weird story. Our parents taking us out and letting us each pick a game out. Each buying a game. I think you chose Adventure of Link, Zelda 2.
Yeah.
I chose Rambo for some reason. I wanted Rambo. But why? I forget why we weren't allowed to play them right away. Remember that? We bought them brand new. We picked them out. It was at Kitty City on Aramingo Avenue, like where I forget what's there now, but it used to be Kitty City. Went there. We behind the glass counter and looked at the game. I want that one. We got our games, and for some reason they went in the closet for like a week. Was it a report card related thing? I forget why.
Oh, maybe.
But for some reason we weren't allowed to have the games right away. I remember dying to play those games, and then we did, and it was just like, what the hell is going on? In both games.
Yeah.
Rambo was like Zelda 2.
Yeah,
it was
pretty
weird.
Funny. It was pretty funny.
It was crazy. Like it was almost the exact same game.
It's really bizarre. I mean, I actually love Zelda 2. I mean, I'm one of those weirdos who loves it, and it took me a while. I loved Zelda 2 so much that it took me a while to warm up to Link to the Past, which is now one of my favorites.
That's my favorite, hands down favorite Zelda game.
I mean, I can't. I'm not down with the 3D perspective Zelda games. I find the camera angles a little distracting. I would just really love to see them do another overhead view game, or top-down view, like another Link to the Past. I'd like to see one of those.
That would be fantastic. They're actually breaking out a sequel.
Yeah.
Link to the Past called Link Between Worlds. It's going to be on the 3DS. It's kind of similar. I think the I would have loved it better if the graphic style was the exact same as like the 16-bit Zelda.
Yeah.
But
I don't know
it's not gonna be. It's gonna be like this weird, distorted version of a 3D Link. But I'm still gonna play the hell out of that game when it comes out.
I'd like to see them. I would like to see Nintendo develop something similar to the way Capcom did retro 8-bit Mega Man games. I'd like to see Nintendo try that with Zelda.
That was a great idea. That was a great game.
Great game. I mean, Mega Man 8, Mega Man 9 is incredible.
9, yes. Mega Man 9.
Love Mega Man 9.
One of the best ideas.
Definitely.
What was I going to say about... Oh, the 3D perspective thing. Yeah. I was not a fan of that myself. Of course, when the N64 first came out, Mario 64 came out, it was a huge deal. Like, oh my god, this is fantastic. This is like going to change gaming. And then every single company... Everyone did one of those 3D action games. There was like, I think it was like 1997, 98, around the year of the PlayStation. That's all that was on the market. That was everything on the market. Was just a character in a 3D world having kooky adventures and collecting like shining pencils, and then trying to defeat some like big red hippo at the end of the game. That's all it was. You were just some weird animal creature. And you were just like, it was the same thing over and over again, every single game. Even Nintendo did it for a while. They had the Mario 64, then there was like Banjo-Kazooie, which I'm saying is an awesome game, by the way. I'm not a fan of this kind of games, but still it was fun. And there was Donkey Kong 64 came out, and then there was like Conker's Bad Fur Day, which is a classic, by the way. But still the same style of game, you know? Although, for some reason, I didn't mind so much when Zelda did it, because it just felt right for some reason for the Zelda world. I don't know if it's because... one of my things you're going to know from me I hate is jumping in video games. I love platform games, but I hate jumping. Go figure. You know, that's what it was. And that's, I think, why I like Zelda so much. There isn't so much of that platforming and jumping and crazy whatever. You know, still huge worlds and huge puzzles to solve. But it's just, for some reason, it seems right with Zelda. That's just me, though. You know, like right now, I'm going through, I'm finally going to beat Twilight Princess, hopefully soon. And I'm just loving that game. It's a good time. I'm going to go through Skyward Sword next, get back to that. But I think I would love to see more 16-bit. I'm going to ramble again for a second. There's one more I'm trying to find, I'm very curious about, is on GameCube, the Four Swords Adventures Zelda game. It was kind of based on like
Probably cat related.
So it probably was cat related. There's on some offshoot Zelda game called Four Swords, and they made one called Four Swords Adventures. Kind of looks like a 16-bit type adventure. It could be fun. I'll look into it in the future. I'll get my facts straight. I'll talk about that later on when I decide to look into it. If I can track it down, how hard it is to find that game.
See, this was the era in which I just totally zoned out, like tuned out any new video game stuff. I just wasn't really. You're hearing the cat scratching one of the chairs. That's great.
You are. That's what it is.
In that time period, I just totally lost interest. I was still stuck in the 16-bit, 8-bit era because that was just my favorite era. I mean, I just loved those games, and I couldn't get into what they were doing when the bit wars started. Like, you know, when we started like getting all obsessed with like 32-bit, 64-bit, million-bit, I was just like, can we just make a game that is just fun to play instead of focusing on how it looks, because it's just fucking ridiculous. So I just kind of lost interest in video games at that point. There's a few new games out there I really like. Some new platformers like, Castlevania Adventure Rebirth, which I like a lot. Mega Man 9.
The new Mario games.
The new Mario games are incredible.
Those are a great idea. I'm just going to jump in again for a second. Just because they take, like, the classic Mario, style, the platforming style, and they bring it into, like, a brand new, generation of kids who might not have played them, so they can't really appreciate where we came from.
Right.
It's back to the whole NES thing, that's what you got to really appreciate, like, what happened back then to, really realize how far things have come now.
Yeah, stupid. You
Yeah.
idiots.
I'm a doctor. I knew that.
He's
I'm
a
doctor
doctor
too.
You knew that.
I'm not a doctor. That's it, though. Yeah, I kind of agree, too. I think the bit wars, as you called them, that little period of time, I think, almost ruined games for me. Because all anyone cared about was making the best-looking game. No one back then really cared too much about, like, oh, how awesome, how great is this game? It was always like, oh, the Saturn version's worse. That's all it was back then. Was everyone, like, dumping on the Saturn. That's what they should have called that era. The Sega can't win era. But this isn't about Sega right now.
It's a shame, because Sega did have some good games,
They did.
But,
And this is for a later show.
That's a whole nother program.
It is. The Dreamcast is probably one of my favorite systems of all time. But again, that's for a whole other discussion. We're on the NES today.
Yeah.
Nintendo. Back when graphics didn't matter as much.
Yeah.
And the games were ridiculously hard.
Mm-hmm.
Games back then had consequences.
They were
not so much anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not really a big deal to beat a game anymore. It doesn't have the same. There's tons of NES games I've never beat, and I probably never will.
Yeah.
We are going to do a show about that too.
That's coming up.
That will be coming a little bit later.
We'll discuss that in the future.
Not exactly sure when, but it will happen.
It's going to happen. Be afraid. There's the cat again.
I guess we could end. I guess we could end this with just one little. One last thought. I guess that we could discuss.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I would say that the 8-bit era, or the closing of the 8-bit era, was probably the last time I remember really being super excited about new games.
Oh, you mean like just jumping into the whole 16-bit?
Yeah,
The transition period, if you will.
Yeah, that little transition. I mean, I was pretty psyched about certain games on the Sega Master System. I liked Pit Fighter. I liked the NHL games. I mean, did I say Master System? I meant to say Genesis.
I know what you meant.
The Genesis.
I know what you were
so
going with.
sorry, you little assholes. I know, judging me for what I just said. But yeah, I mean, I was excited about the NHL comment. Well, comments will be blocked because all people
because of stuff like that.
Because all people do in comments is say who's gay and who's stupid. I guess.
Yeah, somehow his Genesis comment is going to become a huge racial slur.
Huge, yeah, it's going to turn into like huge.
That's all it's going to be.
It'll generate so much anti-Semitic comments,
Somehow,
So,
this cat is loving this, by the way.
yeah, this cat's totally. He's high, I guess.
He's the best part of the show.
He's amazing. He'll have his own show soon, probably.
Yeah, if we were the E Network, he would.
Yeah.
Already.
The kid show.
But yeah, I also hear what you're saying. I remember the first time I saw Super NES too. We were actually, I think we were in Cherry Hill Mall, is what it was. I knew it was coming out because I had the Power back then, Nintendo Power. I read that religiously. Sorry, don't start religious comments either. I didn't mean to say that. That was a mistake. But yeah, I read it constantly. I remember seeing pictures of everything. I'm like, oh, this looks super Nintendo. Good job, guys. And then I went to Cherry Hill Mall, where we frequented almost every weekend. We were there constantly.
Yeah.
Where we frequented. That doesn't make any sense. We were there all the time, though, pretty much, what I'm trying to say. And they had this big display in the middle of the mall with just the Super NES and Mario World and just every single game there.
Yeah.
And it just blew my stupid little preteen mind.
I was really psyched about
I'm like,
Super Mario World. Super Mario World was just
yeah.
I fucking love that game. I don't care.
I was freaked out. I'm like, 4 more buttons? What am I going to do with 4 more buttons?
What are we going to do with this,
Jeez. Little did I know it was going to happen.
It was pretty nice.
It was pretty advanced. Not as advanced as Game Boy Advance, but pretty advanced. That was a horrible joke. What a great joke.
What a great joke. I mean...
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much we could say about the NES, but...
so much.
But I think, just for the sake of keeping everything short and sweet, we will cut off the penis of Mr. Bobbit right here.
Just for right now.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that we can... I mean, we'll talk about this some more with some other individuals. We're hoping to bring together a whole group of people that we can discuss anything, really, any movies, TV shows, I mean, anything.
That's our goal, folks.
And maybe
variety.
We'll probably even eventually take viewer suggestions if we ever get viewers. But I suspect that most of our viewer suggestions will be like Kim Kardashian's asshole or something like that. And
I will not talk about that.
I have no interest in that. So so sorry.
I will discuss his butthole.
I think it's a funny.
Again.
I think it's a funny suggestion. But it sucks.
It's humorous.
It sucks. I guess in the words of Jim Norton, you nothing.
You nothing.
Nothing. So yeah, that does it. I would say for
right now.
Pilot. Our pilot.
We should have high-fived right there.
We should have. You want to try that again?
I don't know. It's kind of missed up.
I think we missed it.
Yeah.
I think our cat here says we missed it.
Yeah, he is loving this. He is so lazy.
So yeah, this is the Dorks Squaretable.
Squaretable.
Hopefully we'll be joined by many other characters to chill with us and discuss.
A whole nother cast.
A whole nother cast, and it'll be even much more interesting, I would say.
I hope so. We rambled.
We are ramblers, and we are shameless ramblers.
Mm-hmm.
Also, look out for some other shows that we're going to be featuring on our channel. We're currently working on the first episode of a variety show / comedy show / whatever show. I'm calling it a video zine because it's gonna be anything. It can be anything, serious, goofy. It's gonna be called This Is Bullshit. Where we filmed a few sketches for that. Did a couple interviews for that. We'll have that out soon. We've been working on it for like a year. It's kind of like Charlie Chaplin and his movie The Kid. 6 reels of joy. 6 reels of joy. And also...
I don't know why I did 3.
3? Well,
I went like this when you were saying 6 reels of joy.
Because I
did it twice, so technically it was 6.
That's because I almost said 3 reels of joy, but apparently it's 6. I don't
It still adds up.
Basically, I mean, Christ. W's. Yeah.
Math fingers.
Math fingers.
That's why I said math fingers.
That's another show we're going to be coming out with is Math Fingers. You watch for it, though.
Yeah.
All right?
Number one.
And do you have any other programs that you would like to keep these individuals on the lookout for?
One series I'd like to mention ahead of time is it's Unfinished Business is what it's called. Basically, it's my goal to find all of the games I haven't completed, and there are a lot of them, and just finally win. Finally win at something. Be a fun little walk down memory lane. Something else, I'm working with a friend of mine. I think we called him Import Button on the Jump Button show, and he's an engineer. He's really good with machines and technical type stuff. He's going to be doing a few projects, video game related projects. I'd like to hopefully film him doing some of his projects, have him explain some of the more technical aspects of what's going on inside those little machines that we play with our thumbs like this for hours and hours and hours on end. That's all I have right now that I want to hopefully get pushed out there in everyone's face.
Therefore, that's all we have. So hopefully you don't hate us. I probably hate a couple of you, but I don't know.
Not yet.
So yeah, this has been it. This has been it. This has been it. This has been it. This has been it.
For now.
Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you, guys.
And please don't let your thumb get stuck up your asshole.
Please.
Thanks.
Daniel Bryan wins tonight, by the way. SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
Jam.